guys? This is Josh from Casket Comics coming to you with the March 27th, 2024 new releases. We're going to get right into it. We're going to get started with Image Comics. Actually, first, I'll talk about my new background here. Have a little new setup. It's pretty cool. I like it. So I hope you guys do. Other than that, most of the stuff won't change. But yeah, so let's get into it. First of all, we're going with Image Comics. We'll start with Underyork #1. Solid first issue. Nothing too standoutish. Like, it's pretty much a story about a character named Allison, who's an inspiring artist, who is having her first big art exhibit, and then disaster strikes her art exhibit. You come to find out she gets attacked by a warlock, and you find out she is actually in a coven of witches that she's been on the run from. Pretty much she gets captured and gets forced to hunt down her parents because her parents are missing from her coven. So they pretty much give her the ultimatum, your parents or your coven's lives. So pretty cool. The art in it's pretty interesting. I enjoy they do almost runic kind of when they're saying spells and stuff. It's very interesting. Just like I said, just a pretty solid read. Like I said, I'll continue to get it. I'll try issue 2. I wasn't, like I said, super thrilled by it. Nothing really super standoutish. But yeah, just solid issue. So definitely would recommend giving it a shot if it's your thing. So that was Underyork #1. Next is also from Image Comics. It is Feral #1. Feral was written by and drawn by the creators of Stray Dogs. Really fun issue, dark issue, obviously, like Stray Dogs is. Follows that same motif. This story picks up with some cats being transported to what seems like the Pound, and their world's turned upside down when a rabbit fox causes the car they're in to wreck. And there we get to meet Elise and Patch, who are the two stray cats, and they're in pretty much this woods full of rabid animals. So it's very zombie-esque, where they don't want to get bit and get turned into these things, and catch the rabies outbreak. We meet their assumed younger brother, Lord, who Elise is very protective of. So the whole comics, a lot of it is her looking for Lord until they come across him. He's very excitable and energetic, but they run into a rabid raccoon and a fox. They narrowly escape, and they just kind of continue, and we get kind of a little twist shock ending at the end. It's really fun. Also has some really good variant covers. I did pick up the Dawn of the Dead cover, which you'll see right here as always. But yeah, really fun art. Pretty good splash page of the introduction. Here you see Elise and Patch. But yeah, great comic. I will definitely be picking up issue 2 and continuing it. Really fun read. I think it's on par with Stray Dogs. Didn't read the whole thing of Stray Dogs though, so I can't judge too much. But yeah, definitely recommend picking up Feral issue 1. I think it's going to take off pretty well. So, all right. Next, going into Marvel Comics, we have Superior Spider-Man #5. This one, pretty much, you have Peter and Ock. They continue to work together, or I guess bicker, as they finalize their plan to save Anna Marie. Anna Marie ends up coming to kind of an understanding with Supernova, and it's about to explain that her transformation was due to Ock and not Peter. But Ock and Peter obviously arrive, and they have this plan to capture her. And in doing so, Peter realizes once again Ock is just kind of twisted things to his ways. And we also pick up with Bailey, who is Spider-Boy in the hospital, recovering from his injuries from Supernova. He finds his way out. He sneaks out, gets his costume back, and finds his way to Ock's laboratory, where Ock has these spiders that kind of take him over. And then Ock is pretty much in Bailey's mind, and he claims to be the superior Spider-Boy. So it was a good issue. As always, really the art for Superior stuff has really been good. There's a really cool splash page here. Let's see if I can find it. There's a couple different ones in this one. Um, let's see. This is really not a splash page, but there's a lot of good battle scenes in this one with Peter fighting Supernova. Some cool some cool stories with Anna Marie. And then you have just like Bailey getting taken over by ox spiders. It's a good issue. Like I said, I tend to say that about a lot of stuff, but I'm just not really like a super picky reader. I do enjoy stuff that's not quite as wordy, but this is just really good action comic, good read. I'm definitely going to continue. It's definitely not on the par of the original Superior Spider-Man, but it's a good continuation. So next we're going into Spider-Punk Arms Race number 2. So Otto in this is also another Otto in this. This version is furious after his prototype lost to the Spider-Band. While Justin Hammer is just ecstatic that their legacy with the investors is looking positive. Spider-Man has some issues, but they kind of get through them, and they start fighting the Rhino. While on the other hand, Ock does something really shocking and kind of reveals himself by the end of the issue to the Spider-Man after they defeat the Rhino. So, don't want to show the shocking thing, but here's some of Otto and Justin Hammer just kind of bickering a little bit. So like I said, Justin Hammer is more for the popular. They do this weird thing where they go sideways with some of the images, which is kind of neat. It's a little weird for the reading structure, but still a fun issue. Once again, like nothing really, like game changing in these issues, but it doesn't always have to be. It could just be a fun, good read. So yeah, I'll just continue to get it. I like as always. I like Justin Mason's art, and Cody Ziegler writing. Just got a good writer. Next, we have Edge of the Spider-Verse number 2. This is the, I think, 4th volume now for Edge of the Spider-Verse, and I was getting a little burned out with it. I'm sure a lot of people are, but the first story in this one is a story called The Spooky Man, and I cannot express how fun this was. Main character's name is Gloomy, and he gets picked on at school. He's a new kid. It's very, I'll show you some of the art. The art is very, very, very Tim Burton-esque almost. It's a really fun read. And pretty much the kids pick on him. They push him down the stairs into like the school basement. And I guess there's a legend down there of this creature called Spooky Man. And the push, Gloomy actually breaks his neck. In the process of almost dying, this Spooky Man takes him over, which is kind of like a symbiote. And you get like the symbiote in his mind. And then you get his one of his teachers, who is pretty much that version of Ock, because Ock just is everywhere. He summons this ritual that brings these spirits of these creatures, bringing this version of the Sinister Six together. It's an insane read, but it's really fun. And you realize that Gloomy has to activate the symbiote's powers pretty much by killing himself. So like he actually gets crushed by a tree the second time, and that brings him back as the symbiote, and he fights this new Sinister Six and ends up defeating them and saving the day. But it kind of has hints that the symbiote's still there. And also it's really fun because the symbiote speaks in rhymes for everything. So it's very, if Tim Burton drew a book written by Dr. Seuss. So I know it sounds completely insane, but it's hilarious and it's really fun. Then the second shorter issue of this one picks up with Cyborg Spider-Man, who is interesting because he doesn't really want these upgrades that he's had happen to him, but he's been forced to because of missing limbs, missing an eye, and he faces this version, Sinister Six, and they pretty much would be too much for him if it wasn't for the technology, and the whole time he's kind of shunning the technology, and but realizes at the end that he does kind of need it and has to get used to it. So yeah, also just another kind of crazy fun read. Not as good as Spooky Man, but it's an insane comic. I definitely recommend picking it up. This has been the best breath of fresh air for an Edge of the Spider-Verse comic since probably Penny Parker, the introduction of the suit, or maybe even Spider-Gwen. So it's really fun. I can see this getting a really cool series and picking up. So And last but not least for Marvel guys is, of course, Ultimate Spider-Man number 3. I'll show you. I literally wrote on my notes. I don't know if you can see this, but the first part of my notes at the bottom here is this comic is so good. Like, I can't continue to express how fun this comic has been. You have May Parker, Peter's daughter, who knows he's Spider-Man now, and she's helping him figure out his new suit, which that's a really fun panel of just like going through the different suits. And as you can see, they kind of do homages to other Spider-Men throughout the history of Spider-Man. So, and I really like, I've talked about this before in the previous one, but I like how each month, like this is March, and the comic comes out in March. Each month, it's fast forwarding a month per issue. So it's really cool to keep up with it per month. I hope they keep up with that release schedule. But as always, the art continues to be really fun, and obviously he comes to, his Spider-Man costume. The true Spider-Man costume we see. And you see him and May Parker web slinging, so they're just kind of having fun. So it's really cool. You get some really good father-daughter bonding. You get some more Jonah Jameson and Ben renting the building for their new paper they want to do that's going to combat the Daily Bugle. And you also meet Bullseye and the Green Goblin finally. We got kind of a hint of the Green Goblin in the first one, but you meet this universe's Bullseye, and he's kind of going at it with the Green Goblin. And by the issue, you're not really sure if the Green Goblin is a good guy or bad guy. He kind of feels like a good guy, but it could be, double-agent thing, could be a ploy. Some identities are made, some identities are revealed, some friends are made, maybe, and then a to be continued. So, still just as solid as issue 1. I don't know, man. It's just something about the way Jonathan Hickman writes this 35-year-old man becoming Spider-Man. It's just great. So, yeah, that's the weekly comics for this week. But this is March 27th, so we are going to spin our random wheel, for all people who have commented on my videos. So we're going to spin the wheel, and we'll have a winner. So, yeah, let's get to that. Alright guys, so we're adding the names into random.org. We're going to randomize them 9 times, because that's how many videos I had, so I just felt like it was appropriate. So we'll get those randomized. We'll copy these, and we'll post them into the random wheel. Alright, get everybody in there, and we're going to spin the wheel. And there you have it. All right, and congratulations to J.R. Dan Lee. Yeah, guys, thank you again. I will probably figure out another contest by the next video to announce for April. We'll see what it is. If you guys have any thoughts or ideas, comment down below. I would love to hear just any ideas from you guys on what I could do for contests. But yeah, I'll keep an eye open and try to figure out what to do. And as always, guys, until then, keep reading comics. See y'all later.